Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame TV East Watch. Yo, it's Derek Jones. Making this video this late night because I've been working on it pretty much all day. I wanted to do it just right, hit on some key points like I do, focus on the things that sometimes don't get focused on. So today's topic is, of course, Mr. Sotomayor. What led me to do this particular video was the comments that I was getting from, I guess, his fans. And the last video I put up of him, they were saying things like I should play the whole video. I was taking him out of context. And I don't know what I could be taking out of context about an individual saying things like this.
Value, because shock value does enough. But this nigga, but it ain't for shock value. Maybe he gets an excitement that you think it's shock value, but it's something else. We're gonna find.
Also, just so happens to be suffering from a sickness. That is just my opinion, and I am not a doctor. Let us continue.
You need to know. I'm Chris Hansen, and you are going to help me catch predators again. Go ahead, have a seat right over there. This will just take a few minutes. I'm not a teacher of high school cheats because I would fuck them. I would fuck one of them girls.
I cannot be a teacher of high school girls because I would fuck them, is what he said. There's no need to play how they got to that part of the conversation, why they were talking about it. The point is, that is what he said about that particular subject, and that's all I'm talking about. So there's no need to leave me comments. Okay? Messages, I barely read those, so there's no need in leaving those and voicing your concern on supporting Tommy's apparent desire to fuck young girls if he was around them and was teaching them, which is why he doesn't, I guess. So, because if he doesn't mess with young girls, it's the fact that he keeps himself from around them, because if he is around them, he'd have sex with them. Is that what he's saying?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
But I have a little bit more Tommy Sotomayor audio. Just him rambling on, running his mouth. And I want to apply everything that he's actually saying to actual reality. I want to tie in his audience to the problems of America. Yes, Tommy Sotomayor's audience and the people that he tries to appeal to are the number one problem when it comes to crime in America. Yet he goes out of his way to massage the people who are actually committing all the crimes in the country and getting arrested for them, for sure. And he wants to turn that around and make it seem like it's all black people. We'll let Tommy Sotomayor do the talking here at Shame TV's Watch. Let's go.
And what you got band together to do was make sure that I couldn't get any donations. I want you guys to understand, right now I do not have a Patreon. Do you know why I don't have a Patreon? Because black people band together and complain to Patreon that my videos are hate speech. So now if I try to create a Patreon, they flag it down immediately. I'm banned from Patreon.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Point number one, Tommy, you banned yourself from Patreon. Black people only let Patreon know what it is you were actually saying and doing, and then Patreon more than likely sent their own representatives to listen to the videos and found that what you were doing was a little and a bit too much. So you banned yourself from Patreon. Don't blame other people.
Shame. Shame.
You banned yourself,
Shame.
bro.
Also, I want you guys to know that I am also banned from GoFundMe. They did the same thing to my GoFundMe account. They went to GoFundMe and told them that I am a hate speech promoter. And if they allow me to take donations on their website, then they too are promoting hate speech against Black women.
Kudos to GoFundMe. GoFundMe can't and doesn't obviously want to endorse anyone like this.
I'm not a teacher of high school because I would fuck them. I would fuck one of them girls. I know it for a fact, so I wouldn't do it. I would never teach fucking high school. I would fuck one of them. I'm not doing it. Real dudes are like me. A teacher of high school because I would fuck them.
That is why GoFundMe doesn't want you around. That is why Patreon does not want you around. That is not anyone else's fault that you say the things that you say. You said them.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So you banned yourself, bro.
I've shaped some of my views based upon talking and listening to other people. But people say, my delivery is the problem. And my response to all those people is, do I work for UPS? Do I work for Domino's, or do I work for
Shame.
FedEx?
Shame.
Pizza Hut?
Shame.
Nope. So you don't pay me for my delivery. So I don't go around trying to deliver something the way to make everybody happy. I'm more like DiGiorno's. And my response to all those people is, do I work for UPS? Do I work for Domino's, or do I work for FedEx? Pizza Hut? Nope. So you don't pay me for my delivery. So I don't go around trying to deliver something the way to make everybody happy. I'm more like DiGiorno's. I'm not delivering, I'm DiGiorno's. Now,
Shame. Shame. Shame.
That was just a little side note. This nigga loves talking about pizza, boy.
Shame.
Back to
Shame.
your scheduled video.
Shame.
what's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Tommy Sotomayors. I got a video in response to a video that I just put up,
Shame.
which proved my point. I put up a video knowing that I was going to admonish the McKinney police, the police practices of the United States, and try to explain to Black people the reason why I believe that they put these type of police officers in your community. In the process of doing this, I labeled that video with a specific title. I put Black man in support of the McKinney police and police
Clickbait.
all over the United States.
That's what that's
Now,
called.
the whole McKinney incident and all other incidents across the United States are talking about how peaceful and nice and sweet Black people are, and how white people just go around beating up on Black folks and being racist all day because Black people are so peaceful and they just want to be peaceful people, and white people won't let them. It's the biggest crock of BS on the planet. And I just proved it.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It was about me saying Obama shouldn't try to ban guns. He should ban niggas.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Let's listen to that one more time.
Shouldn't try to ban guns. He should ban niggas. Now, it seems relatively harsh for me to say that, but then the truth apparently hurts or is harsh. And I've never understood that, because most people are upset because someone lied to them, not because they told the truth.
You can't refer to your truth as the truth, but we'll allow you to continue.
Anyway, I want you guys to think about something and just take this in for a minute. Did you know that 52% of all murders in the United States were committed by black people?
No, I did not know that.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It is rhetoric like that is what led to this video. Rhetoric that he spews all the time. Rhetoric about drug abuse in the black community. Rhetoric about welfare and TANF and things of this nature. Rhetoric about crime is what we're talking and focusing on right now. Now, this individual goes out of his way to spew Fox and CNN talking points, which are generally known as lies to the common person about the black community, crime, and etc. I will play a clip from a video I did earlier this year. Hope that you guys enjoy. And I hope it sheds light on this individual and his followers, because his followers are the ones who indulge this. His followers are the ones who act out his rhetoric against black people, whether it be openly or if they're supervisors, bosses, or etc. They could be doing it secretly, underhandedly. The point is, he's emboldening racists, bigots, hateful individuals to literally attack me, to attack my sons, to try to point out my flaws, to try to point out 3 things that I did while I'm standing in a room with a person who's done 7 things. And you seem to say nothing about that. We have a problem here at Shame TV with that. And I'm going to let you guys listen to the audio and hope you enjoy. I hope you get the point of it.
Shame.
No, there is a point to it.
It's very important that we all realize that all this is saying, all the FBI is saying is all the charges, offense charged, okay, total was 8,248,709. That's because you got so many fake laws. Now, no one's talking about who's the higher population, who's the lower population, who's the none of that. It's just simple arrest. Who got arrested for some shit out here in America? Okay? And since we're here on Derek Jones Talks Live, we try to leave the profanity out as much as possible. Who is actually being arrested for things in the United States? Out of 8,248,709 people. Now, we move over to what we call white people and or Europeans, whatever, we know what they're talking about. 5,753,212. That's nearly 6 million. So out of all the total charges, people who are being arrested in this nation, out of 8 million and a quarter of a million, nearly 6 million of them were white people. Them dead or prisoners, of course. Of course.
Shame.
That's all they are. They were set up as that. They were set up as that. They were set up as that. That's, come on now, Tasha. Look at that shit. 8,204,000, basically 8 million and another quarter of a million
arrests. That's what we're talking about here. Rounding this shit off. If we're rounding this shit off, nearly 6 million of 8 million arrests were them. But I have the stigma of a criminal. My sons are going to have the stigma of a criminal. My daughters are going to be looked upon as ghetto when Europeans receive TANF at epidemic rates if you're going to compare them to black people and anyone else. All the TANF, food stamps, the whole nine. The other day I went out, me and my lady went out, and we ran into 2 stores because it was the day, I remember it distinctly, it was the day that I was looking for my webcam and with the and a microphone. But I wanted a separate microphone, okay? And so I had looked on some of these things around my area, and it was said that a couple like little pawn shops and thrift stores might have a few. So I ran over there just on the off chance that I could snatch one for the extra cheap or whatever. So we go over there. We went to like three different places, and I stopped at a couple stores. I went one of the grocery stores over here when I used the bathroom. I wanted to get something to drink, some Gatorade or whatever I did. And each time I went to the store that day, I was behind a European person in a line. And this is the first time this had ever happened to me. Okay? This is the first time that ever happened to me. That each time I was behind a European person, every time they paid with an EBT. I think I just noticed because my lady will tell you, my family will tell you, my sisters, everyone will tell you. I'm not a nosy motherfucker. I'm not a nosy person. Like I don't pay people mind when they're doing shit. You generally. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you're doing some extra fuckery shit that catches my attention, of course, like it would catch anyone's attention. But I'm just talking about on the everyday, daily. Like if somebody's in the store grabbing shit, if you came up to me, did you see what that person grabbed before you? I would probably say no because I probably wasn't fucking paying attention to what the fuck they were doing. So that's just how I am. But it was like that day, I just so happened to notice it, and it happened like 2 or 3 times. Every time they paid for something, it was with an EBT card. But the black women who have EBT cards, they're welfare queens or just that and the third. No disparaging marks get said about them. Disparaging marks get said about you.
Shame. Shame.
And I think it's because of their bias. Even if it isn't from the IAT test, which I still want everyone who comes to see to give their opinion about and watch the video. I only played a little bit of it for you to watch it. And, you can play it yourself. It's only like a 13-minute video. Then there's a couple afterwards. And there is one afterwards that I am going to play, Tasha. I want you to hear it. Yeah, Tasha, the court thing. And another thing with that court shit is like I've been through it firsthand. It's a fraud. It's not real.
45.9% on white. Now remember, this is total arrest. When you scroll up, because see, the white supremacists are so remedial, you got to keep explaining this to them. They say this is the total estimated population. This is the total amount of arrests. Let's say this again for the slow white supremacists. The total amount of population, the total number of arrests, okay? Because you're going to say that, well, we're more of the population, and yet blacks, only 13%, they commit all these crimes. It's not based on total population. Oh, you see that? It's the estimated. This is the total. Estimated total. Let's say this again. Estimated population, total number of arrests. Okay, you got it? All right. So now, as we continue here, I had to talk to them like that because they're just ignorant. You look at rape. 68.0. Man, y'all went up last year. That raping is an epidemic. And y'all not talking about that stuff. What you want to
Point number one, Mr. Sotomayor. Why do you never bring up the fact that out of 100% in the rape category in this country, nearly 70% of all rapes are committed by European males?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Your fan base.
About what black people do.
And that's a very important point. And that's where I go into with the biases that I really think that the biases that Europeans have against us are very real. And those biases play out in everyday society. They play out in numbers like this. They play out in situations like you have the whole world convinced, you have Koreans convinced that the few black people that's around them ghetto neighborhoods that may steal from their store are black people overall. So if you look at them and the people who are getting shot by the police, you would assume that these people are committing nearly 6 million of the 8 million and 250,000 crimes that are being committed. But it's the other way around.
28.2 on black. Now, as I stated before, the 51.1% on the murder and non-negligent manslaughter, and also you look at the robbery, that's high, 53.5. That's all relegated to low income, no hope areas. That's exactly what that said. Once you get
Mr. Sotomayor, you never take the time to make that clear distinction, the clear distinction that crime, as it pertains to black people, takes place in specific areas and age groups. You know that, but you choose not to say it.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Yeah, you know you lose your fan base.
past the low income areas within the black community, crime is literally non-existent. And that's proven over and over again. Exactly. Now, robbery is 44.4% on the side of white.
Once a black man generally reaches and he survives his life and he reaches the age of 23 and 24, the crime rate drops dramatically. And I tell people all the time, I can answer and attest to that because I am a black man and I ran the streets, especially when I was 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Once I got 21 and 22-ish, it was pretty much time. I just wanted a job and a car and shit like that. And mess around with women. So that running, hanging in spots and being places where I needed to bring my gun and all that shit started to fade and drift away. By the time I was 25, I was totally away from all that bullshit.
Now, don't get it twisted. Don't walk around like you holier than thou. Talk to me when you got the number of the Asian that's like 1.5. Then
apparently, the Europeans, who are Tommy Sotomayor's fan base,
Shame.
the
Shame.
people that he gives a pass to
Shame.
on a daily basis, do not bring up the 1 or 2 videos that you have made against European people, Tommy Sotomayor. And when I say European people, I mean the racist bigots, hateful, fear mongers, hate mongers. As a disclaimer, not talking to all Europeans, of course. And I hope I shouldn't have to say that too much. But this is Tommy Sotomayor's fan base. People who represent nearly 6 million of 8.25 million arrests for crimes in the United States, according to the FBI. These people avoid a public stigma of being the people who, in fact and indeed, are nearly 6 million of a quarter, 8.25 million people arrested.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
When Tommy Sotomayor is quoting statistics, I know you guys have never heard him quote that one.
Holier than thou, and you can open your mouth to tell us something about the 51.1%. But you're not very far behind with 45.9%. And that's with white privilege. Now, if black people actually had white privilege, our numbers would probably be just like the Asian number.
If black people grew up
Shame. Shame. Shame.
with, if we were by ourselves just as a group, even though now we're less than 3% of this nation's wealth, once again, including Floyd Money Mayweather, Puffy, Jay-Z, LeBron, Oprah, anyone else you want to, talk about. You better get it. It might be one of them, mosquitoes. I just seen that shit on the news. They got mosquitoes from some other country and brought them here and put some shit in them so that they could fight other mosquitoes here. And brought other mosquitoes to have a mosquito war. That deserves a shame. But yeah, these biases are what's leading to no one really having any idea that these numbers exist and they exist in the way that they do.
Right? Or probably even lower. Remember, 53.5. If you want to.
Before I lose my point, if black people who are the nation's, like I said, 3%, less than 3% of the wealth, if we had, just as a group, 35% of this nation's wealth, our crime numbers would be lower than the Asians.
Open your mouth and say something. Look at the Asian number or look at the American Indian number, something like that, 0.9, 0.8. If you go get on your soapbox and talk to black people, you can't talk to black people having 44.4. You can't say crap. So always put them in their place when they talk to you like that, okay?
Mr. Sotomayor, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to do in this video, is put you in your place a little bit. While you constantly compare and talk about the comparison between black people, air quotes, and white people, air quotes.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You're not being genuine when you do it, man. You're being disingenuous. And when I find a person being disingenuous in the manner that you're doing it, well, one can only assume one or two things, and neither one of them are good.
If the Asian community want to say something, I think we maybe should listen to them. We don't need to listen to this group of people who got numbers as high with everything on their side. Okay, exactly. Aggravated assault, 64.0, 32.1. All right, here we go again. Burglary, 68.1, 29.5. We have larceny and theft, 69.6, 27.4. Motor vehicle theft, 67.2, 29.4.
Hold on, y'all. Speaking of theft, Tasha Pope just said, saw a crack documentary once where a white guy walked in the store, grabbed a set of golf clubs, and walked out. Exactly. Exactly. With no problem I saw a video, and it was down south, Tasha, Georgia somewhere, and it was out in the country, and the white boy apparently did some shit and was running from the cops, and he went home. And this motherfucker, I'm gonna find that shit. And this mother, he gets out of the car, his family comes out the house, girlfriend, all that shit, mother, and the cops come up, and this nigga is fighting this motherfucking cop. It takes like all four of them to put this dude on the ground. They don't tase him. They don't shoot him. They don't nothing him. Excuse me, y'all. I'm drinking a beer here. It's still my birthday weekend. Happy birthday, me. But anyway, they don't tase him. They don't nothing him. And when I say he's fighting back, I mean he is fighting the fuck back. Like he is punching these motherfuckers in the face. Like he is doing all types of shit. This dude is really rumbling. And he just goes to jail. And you have brothers, children, who are being shot by these maniacs.
We just seeing who's committing most of the crimes, and don't you ever believe, brothers and sisters, that you're committing all the crimes in this country. And remember, this is what they're going to say, where it's more of us than you. Has nothing to do with more of us than you. Remember, as we established earlier, it's based on total number of arrests, not population. All right. You got to keep reminding them that. Now, arson, 73.2, 22.5. We're not burning up the place. Even though I know you're going to say, yeah, all y'all doing riots, still ain't catching up with you. Violent crime, 60.1, 36.4. Property crime, 69.2, 27.8. Other assaults, 65.
Before we continue, violent crime, yet again, out of 100%. Tommy Sotomayors' fan base, which just so happens to be white America, you represent the vast majority of violent crime in this country. The significance of that and the significance of this whole video is to show how your fan base, Mr. Sotomayor, can represent the most violent people in the country. Meaning if I'm afraid of being assaulted, I should look at the person who gets arrested and charged and goes to jail for assault the most, which are European people. But that is not the case.
Shame.
No, that is not the case at all.
Shame.
They get to have their violent pathology in nature ignored while individuals like you make videos about me and my people.
5.9, 30.8.
If you look at that these numbers coming down here, these numbers are damn near off the charts. Excuse me. Hey, come on now. These numbers are starting to become off the charts. Aggravated assault, burglary. That means breaking into your house. But who are you worried about breaking into your house? That mean old black guy.
Shame.
That's almost 70%.
Shame.
That's almost 70%. Larceny, theft, 70%. Look at the difference with that. Come on, man. Motor vehicle theft. Yeah. Come on. Arson. Epidemically higher than everyone else's. When you got everybody else way down here, and arson, 22.5, 2.6, 1.3, that's epidemically high. It's epidemically high. Violent crimes, epidemically high. property crime, almost 70% again, epidemically higher than everyone else's, if you're going to compare the numbers. Other assaults. And Tommy Sotomayor, you have videos entitled how you can prove black people are the most violent. Well, the FBI seems to think differently.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Forgery, counterfeiting, fraud, just overall fraud. And then that's stuff that they're counting. Never forget that, guys. These are things that they're actually counting.
Forgery and counterfeit, 64.6, 33.0. Fraud, 66.6, 31.0. Embezzlement, 60.6, 36.8. See, what the FBI is telling you is that we're not committing all the crimes, no matter what propaganda they put out there, no matter what a white supremacist says. This is their FBI telling on them right now, once again, for the past few years. 65.5, 32.0, buying stolen property, receiving or possessing. Vandalism, 69.5, 20.
That's just for no reason destroying people's shit. That's just for no reason other than it's a Wednesday or some shit. You're just destroying people's stuff.
7.2.
Shame.
Weapons, carrying, possessing, etc. 57.7, 40.0. Now, blacks is a little higher than that, but we're still not the number one, of course. We don't really obsess over guns like that. Prostitution and commercialized vice, 54.5, 39.9. Sex offenses, rape and prostitution, 73.1, 23.1.
Shame. Shame.
Rape.
Shame.
73.1. Let's put that in perspective. Europeans, or white America, who is Tommy Sotomayor's major fan base, represents already nearly 6 million of 8.25 million arrests for all the crimes in the country in a given year. Now, 73% of that nearly 6 million are rapists. So that means anyone who's worried about getting raped in America need not worry about that big black man coming to get you.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
But this is Tommy Sotomayor's fan base. Now, I'm going to stop here after these two. Okay? No, we're going to go down into these last two as well, because I want y'all to look at the pedophilia. And what bias hides. And that's a direct shot at you, Mr. Sotomayor. What bias hides.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I'm saying all this stuff, but this is what bias hides. People who are biased are able to hide things like this and have a narrative created to make it look as though black people are the ones who are committing all these crimes. Black people are the ones that we should build concentration camps and prisons for. Excuse me, guys. That we call prisons for. That was rude. Well, not rude. It was natural, but I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, that's what you're saying. It was my birthday, guys. We are who you have to build these things for, not the people who are actually doing it.
One, these sex offenses,
look at this.
It's through the roof. And I don't hear anything being spoken about when it comes to protecting children, protecting women.
And this whole feminism movement. This whole feminism. Let's stop there for a second.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Because we know and we've heard about your neighborhood pizza man. And the video I just played had nothing to do with anything. Just the fact that he referred to pizza 3 to 4 times in the course of 40 seconds as references. Now I'll save this for another video. Let's continue. Feminism. I'm gonna do Afrocentric feminism. This whole Afrocentric feminism shit is fucking ridiculous. This is why, and I'm gonna cuss on this one. This is why. Look at this shit. Ain't nobody raping you like that, but it's happening. So I'm not gonna fucking ignore that either. So don't ever fucking think I'm giving somebody a pass. But to be acting like we're dominating you the way that European men and what they're doing to their women is not the same.
Or anything, they just keep that stuff quiet when you literally have an epidemic of sex offenses and rape.
That's nearly 75%.
But yeah, it's quiet. You want to talk about Chicago? Please. Drug abuse violations, 70.7, 27.0. Gambling, 36.0. Black people, 56.4. Well, I guess you're getting caught shooting craps and doing all kind of other stuff, I guess, right? Let's see here. Offenses against the family and children, 65.8, 29.8. Now,
that means beating your wife and abusing your children. I repeat, that means beating your wife and abusing your children.
Offenses against family and children would be your domestic abuse, child abuse, etc., right? Driving up.
So for all you swervers, that's what you have to look forward to.
Under the influence, your DUIs.
Shame.
Well, look at this.
Shame.
And that's 82.6% for a reason, guys. Okay? Tasha, I'm going to tell you why this is 82.6, only 82.6.
They're
and it should be
referring to
90,
DUIs.
or at least 88 or 89%.
Referring to DUIs.
Every week from September to February, damn near, if you count how many times they go, millions of people go to NFL and/or college football games. Millions. Okay. Weekly. They openly sell beer all the day long. And these people are getting in these cars after drinking and going home. Now, these motherfuckers are drunk, man. So if the police really wanted to stop drinking and driving, they would just have roadblocks and cages and carts set up the house to throw all them people in and tow trucks and all that shit, tow their cars, all that shit for drinking.
Whether it's under liquor or whether it's under prescription medication, 82.6. Blacks, 13.2. Epidemic numbers. And yet Fox News Channel, CNN, and none of this mentioned this. Liquor laws, 79.
You're killing people. And this liquor law state is the people that you're actually bringing in, not the people you're allowing to go on and continue to do this. Also, again, the driving under the influence are the people that you are not bringing in, because it should be significantly higher. And not to mention, this kills people every day so much that we have to have marathon-type drives about it, and no one talks about it.
9.8, 13.8 for black people. Epidemic numbers. Drunkenness, 76.4, 14.3.
Crazy.
Epidemic numbers. This is bad. Drunk driving, killing innocent families, innocent people on the roads of America, and you're seeing where all these arrests are coming from. This speaks.
So, what did we learn tonight? We might not have learned much. We might not. We might have. But I hope that you have at least seen, excuse me, that biases are very, very dangerous. And biases are a part of this society. Biases play a part in people being murdered every day.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Those biases have now fallen back into your lap, so to speak, Mr. Sotomayor. You are going to have to explain yourself now. This is your fan base. Don't make me pull out videos, tons of videos of you showing how cool white people are and saying such cool things about them, whilst, you know, demonizing black people. At the same exact time, numerous subjects and topics, you've done this. So there's no need in, you know, being disingenuous and pretending as though you don't know what I'm talking about. But I do want you to answer to your fan base and the dangers of your bias, the things that you overlook, which we've, you know, detailed tonight, with the help of the FBI and, of course, the help of your fan base, white America, for providing the numbers: rape, pedophilia, child abuse, spousal abuse, fraud, all manners of debauchery. We didn't even get into the subject of bestiality.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And this is your fan base. And you choose to be biased and talk about me. Shame TV East Watch. We'll be back at you.
Shame.